Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone and welcome. This is Entri channel and I'm Ashima Shukla. In this video, we're going to talk about farmer protests. Now, we all are aware about the whereabouts of the protests which are happening on the gates of Delhi, that being from the side of Haryana and from the side of Punjab. Right, so there have been certain farmer protests that have been ongoing at this time, and various concerns are being raised over the fact that why are these protests going on? What is the exact reason why these protests are going on? And what is bringing up this outrage among the farmers, right? So a few times back, if you would have seen, there's a video uploaded on the same channel which talks about the three laws of farmer agriculture, basically, which was in September or so, right? So there were certain maybe misunderstandings and some wrong concepts and some misconcepts, or some concepts understood wrong, or some concepts that need a bit of change. Whatever the reason being, there are certain concerns being raised over those bills, right? So that is the reason why these protests are going on, because of a fear that is running among the farmers. So to understand the fear that's running, we need to know the cause of the fear, right? We can't work on the symptom until unless we don't know what is the cause of the disease. So as for the cause, first of all, the protest is to repeal the new farm laws. There are three farm laws which were there. So the protest states that these three farm laws should be taken back. We don't want these laws. We want the system to function as it was functioning, right? So why do they want that these new farm laws should not be there, or they should be taken back? Right. So first of all, you need to know the three laws. The three laws are Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020, Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Service Bill 2020, and Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. These are the three bills which we are going to talk about in the ahead of the segment. Now, what happens is that the government is saying, when these bills were brought in, the government said that many private markets will be established and middlemen would disappear. So, what are these? Are the three bills which were there, which were presented in September 2020, and these bills are the reason why these protests are going on. So, what are the concepts of the farmers that are bringing in the protests? So, what they believe is that when the government introduced these bills, the purpose was that private markets should be established better, middlemen should be removed or made to disappear. That is, farmers and the companies should deal directly, something like that, so that private sector grows and so does the farmers grow. Right, so farmers will be given freedom to sell how much ever they want, whatever they want to sell, and at whatever price they want to sell. Right, but the farmers do not accept these claims. They believe that with this progress that we are making, with the concept that we have idealized so hugely, that is going to affect in a negative part. How is it going to affect in the negative part? That is, they believe that this corporate sector's presence in the government, in the farming sector, that will enhance the importance of corporate sector, and might reduce the amount that is paid to them. So currently there is a minimum support price, right? Currently the government purchases from the farmers at a minimum support price. Now, what farmers fear is that once the corporate sector enters into it, the MSPs might get the amount much lower than the MSPs. That is, the amount they are paid for the particular harvest would reduce substantially. That is the fear that is running among them. So MSP system phase out, as they believe that the government is phasing out the MSP system. That MSP system phase out will affect them in a negative part, is what they feel is going to happen, right? So We'll be having a look at one each of the three bills, and then we'll be talking about furthers on it, right? So first is Essential Commodities Amendment Ordinance. Now recently you might have seen that Essential Commodities Ordinance was applied on masks and sanitizers. So what happened at that time? At that time, whatever commodities, we understood that whatever commodities are the essential commodities, they cannot be stocked for long. That is, no stocking can be done. No trader or any shopkeeper can stock them or sell them at a higher price. There is certain amount of price fixed. They cannot sell it more than at a price more than that. So that is something which is essential. They have the government has identified it as essential, and that amount needs to be paid, or you cannot exploit on the basis. So similar thing applies on the farmers also. But what has this ordinance done is that it has removed cereals, pulses, oil seeds, edible oils, onion, potatoes. All of these have been removed from the list of essential commodities. Earlier they were a part of essential commodities. Now they have been removed. Why have they removed? Government does not want to regulate them. Government wants that the farmers should be free to do the trading at whatever price they feel like, at whatever amount they feel like. If farmers can produce 10 kilograms, they must sell them, right? If a trader wants to stock them, be free to stock it, right? So central government does not want to regulate that. It wants to deregulate, right? Central government is allowed to regulate the supply during the times of war, during the times of famine, during the times when there's a huge inflation going on and there's a natural calamity like the pandemic. So at these times, this Essential Commodities Act comes in place and saves the people and the producer. This is the idea of it. Now, government wants to remove the farm producers from this or deregulate it because such a thing is not required for that as of now, right? So what government has decided is that there will be no stock limit. Any trader can stock for as much amount as they want. So deregulation will be done, and imposition of any stock limit on agriculture produce must be based on the price rise. That is, if there is a huge amount of inflation that is going on, only then the government will intervene. That is, if the stock limit is to be imposed, then there has to be 100% increase in the retail price. If there's 100% increase in retail price, only then the government will interfere and bring it into essential commodities and bring it to a regularity. So for horticulture, 100% increase, and for non-perishable agriculture produce 50%. 50% for non-agriculture. So if it increases to that rate, only then the government will intervene, which is not something of an issue, which most of the people do not believe it as an issue, not a major one, right? Next is Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Ordinance. Now, FAPA is something which is writing a bit of concern. Now, what is this? It is a written farming agreement that is bringing in of corporate sector. So, if a corporate, for example, McD wants the potato produced to be a big one potatoes, right? So they sign agreement with a few farmers directly. They ask them what amount of the produce can they do it. They will supply the basic things about them. They will give them quality grade products. They will give standards to them. They will specify the standards. They'll give the basic produce. They'll give some amount, and once the contract is complete, they will be paid the huge amount, the amount that whatever they have agreed on. This is what corporate farmer agreement is going to work on, right? So this is the bill which is brought up or is going to bring in more of contract farming in India. So it is going to be a mutual one, that is the corporates will enter with the farmers directly rather than being an indirect purchasers, right? So directly farm purchase will happen, supply, quality, grade, everything will be checked on by the corporates itself. Farmers fear that there might be a bit of exploitation on this part, but it also gives them opportunity for farmers to rise. If we look at the positive side, it gives them opportunity to rise, to bring in much better produce and bring in more stability to themselves as well, right? So it is not that huge of a loss that might happen. The major issue that is coming up is if Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Ordinance. Now, this opens up agriculture sale and marketing outside the notified agriculture produce market committee APMC mandis. This is APMC mandis are the huge concern for now, right? So it will remove the barriers to interstate trading. All the interstate trading can be done, and it will give the electronic trading method to the farmers. And outside APMC mandis also the farmers can sell, is what the idea of this whole perspective is. Right now, there are farmers who are against it for their own reasons, for their own benefits, or they feel that they are not secure now, their amount is not secure now, right? Now, over here we have seen that interstate trading will improve. That is going to be a beneficial point. It will prohibit the state government from collecting any sort of fees or taxes that they collect. That is also a good thing. Now, there is an important assumption behind this FPTC Act, that is that mandis controlled by APMC are monopsonies in the rural area. That is, only APMC mandis run in the rural area. This is an important assumption that goes on. But when we look at the report of all the things, we require more mandis than India has as of now. It does not need less mandis and big mandis, it needs more mandis so that people can trade easily. Now, when these APMCs are at a lesser amount in comparison, how do the farmers reach the consumers or their contractors? That is how the second one act which we discussed about corporate incorporation, that might help. So, a belief that the government ultimately wants to phase out MSP is going on right now, and government needs to give this assurance to them that there is no such thing that they have intention on, right? So APMCs have monopoly of farmers produce. This should not be created. So farmers also need to understand that APMC should not be the monopolies. There should be some competitor out there for them, so that their output is given a better range and a better scale. So a monopoly should be reduced, and that is something that should be that can be resolved via good communication from the side of government as well. Then presence of private players will improve market efficacy. This thing is also going on in as of now, that when private players will be involved in the market, then market efficacy will be improved. Right now, as of now, outside APMC, 18 states are there who have allowed outside trading for the farmers, and direct purchases in 19 states. But in spite of this, no private investment has flowed in to establish a private market in these states. That is, that certain results have been seen. And since Punjab and Haryana are one of the huge producers of paddy and wheat, they fear that this thing will bring in the same result as it has done a few times back. So they fear that what amount they were getting right now from the government as MSP, they might not even get that. They might get something much lower than that because of certain states who have implemented it and not shown the exact result of it. That is the reason that they are feeling a bit of disappointment in these laws. Then taxes in mandis. Farmers fear with regard to MSP, as I have just told you, that they fear that MSPs will be completely over, and since MSPs are not even rising, so they believe that it is going to go on a lower scale. So what needs to be done? Now we can see that there are a lot of loopholes that are there which have not been filled up completely or not communicated completely, right? So first of all, India needs to increase the density of mandis so that people or the farmers can actually reach out to mandis and get a good sale and a result. Second of all, not just increasing the mandis but better mandis. So even if privatization is required, but it should be a better range which can give them a better hold, which can give the mandis a better competition. Rather than bringing the rate down, they need to be brought up. And a unified national license for traders will be better, so that the traders, once involved in it, they can at least function purposefully, right? Their function can bring some good results is what we want. So if there is a certain license which is there, licensed traders are there, that means that farmers can trust those traders with good price, right? So moving the market to the right direction, bringing in communication between the government and the farmers, listening or addressing to their fears, as well as them understanding the point of government, is what is needed right now. So there needs to be a lot of discussion, obviously. There's a huge amount of discussion that is needed. It just cannot be passed like that. Government has to take some genuine steps, although these steps are taken, but the result orientation is comparatively low. So bringing that result orientation is what we want, or what they want, and that is the whole essence of this whole protests that are going on, right? So this is the reason why these protests are going on. Now in this, what we need to understand is, first of all, the three laws which we have already talked about all the three laws that government has brought in as ordinance, and now the discussions and debates are going on in the parliament. Second of all, what is important from examination perspective is that why Punjab and Haryana are the only two states which are fearing from it. So their fear is regarding to MSPs, or maybe regarding to the produce they are giving out and stuff like that, right? So these are the few things that need to be addressed. These are things that need to be brought into force. And for more understanding of these three laws, since we are here, the orientation was more towards the protest. So if you want to understand the laws better, there is a video on Entri app which is completely based on these three laws, in which I have talked only about the three laws, and we have talked about the benefits and the demerits of it. You can check that video out on Entri app, and it is going to be available. It is available. It was made around in September end or October. Just check it out once if you feel that you need a bit of more clarity. In case you still don't get clarity, you can put in the comment section, and in the comment section you can ask your doubts and I'll answer them, or the team will answer them, right? So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead. Do like the video, share, comment on if you like it, or you understood it, or you have a doubt, and share the video, right? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.